paid shopping. Sarah found herself alone at home most of the time. Her parents were always at work and she had no siblings. Although Sarah had many friends, she wanted to get a pet. She was tired of being bored at home. However, Sarah did not know what pet she wanted. She kept changing her mind and fell in love with all types of animals. She decided to go to the pet store and let her heart decide when she got there. She went to her local pet store. It was only a 5-minute walk from her house. She walked with her parents, who agreed to let her pick out a pet. Sarah vowed to take responsibility and be super careful with her new pet. The pet store worker greeted them and showed them around. There were all types of pets, including reptiles and furry mammals. Sarah loved the dogs and cats. She thought they were cute and playful. She decided to also look at some fishes. She enjoyed the colors and their beautiful nature, but she wanted something more interactive. When she came across the bunnies, she knew that they were the pet for her. She knew a bunny was easier to take care of than a dog, but still playful. She picked up a bunny and fell in love with him. He was brown and white. She decided to name him Chester. Her new furry friend also liked her. Her parents approved and were also fond of her new pet. Making sushi at home. Danielle decided to make sushi with her brother Jonathan. They both loved sushi and cooking. They thought this would be the perfect way to bond with each other and have fun. Sushi was something they never made. They needed to buy all the supplies to make the perfect sushi. They read recipes and watched videos on how to make sushi. Even if it was not perfect, Danielle was sure it would taste good. Jonathan was in charge of buying the supplies. He stopped by his local Japanese supermarket. This was one of his favorite markets because of its cheap prices and quality products. He started by looking for the seaweed and rice. He quickly found those in the same aisle. He then began to pick the seafood they would use. He decided on salmon, tuna, and eel. Danielle's favorite was salmon. He also got some cucumbers, carrots, and avocados to add extra flavor. Jonathan brought back his supplies home. They were ready to make the sushi. They set everything up in the kitchen. They were ready to roll. They divided the tasks. One person was in charge of preparing the sushi. The other person was in charge of rolling the sushi and cutting nicely into pieces. They needed to make enough for themselves and their parents. They even made extras. After all their hard work, they ate their delicious sushi and watched a movie together. The sushi was delicious and tasted really fresh. Their parents approved of their homemade sushi. Jogging around the neighborhood. Every day, Tiffany jogged 5 miles around her house. She loved running around her neighborhood. It made her feel refreshed for the rest of the day. She felt more healthy and productive after her runs. She did not always run the same route. She liked to change her route to make running more fun. Sometimes she ran to grocery stores and sometimes she ran to her friend's house. It was a new journey each time. In order to run, she had to have the right gear. She always wore quality athletic clothes. She had to wear good running shoes that were durable. She kept her hair in a high ponytail so her hair would not interfere with her face. She kept a water bottle with her at all times to continue to stay hydrated. Sometimes she ran at the gym, but she preferred the fresh air. There was something about seeing the trees and cars passing by which made her happy. She always listened to music when she ran. The music kept her motivated and distracted her from the feeling of being tired. Today, she decided to run to a movie theatre. She was meeting a friend there later. She had her water, music, and a smile ready. She started running early so that she would be there on time. An innocent mistake. The vase in the middle of the house was broken. Someone had knocked down the family's vase. The mum was furious. She had treasured that vase and was upset that it was now broken. She did not know who broke it since she was not home that day. The only two people who were home were her daughter, Violet, and son, Harry. She asked them who broke the vase. Both of them were quiet. They refused to answer in fear of getting in trouble. She threatened to punish both of them if they did not give her an answer. They began to blame each other. They began to yell and tell their stories at the same time. She told each to explain their sides. Violet explained that they were playing tag and Harry tagged her while pushing her at the same time, causing her to knock the vase over. Harry explained that Violet tried to dodge his tag and hit the vase. There was no way for the mum to tell who was actually right. The mum decided it was an innocent mistake. She did not punish either of them. She just told them not to play tag in the house anymore. Harry and Violet had to be more careful next time. They apologized to their mum. They both felt terrible for upsetting her. They decided to be super good and started cleaning up the house. Do-it-yourself projects. Sandra was moving into her new dorm. It was her first day of college. She wanted to make the dorm her own personal space. She wanted to design it with meaningful decorations that reminded her of home and the opportunities at school. She wanted to make herself feel comfortable in a foreign place. The dorm was an empty space where she could make her own. She shopped for decorations at her local stores and online websites. She found that many of the decorations were generic, so she decided to design her own decorations. She was excited to begin her do-it-yourself project. She looked up a bunch of tutorials and videos on arts and crafts. There were many easy projects. She could make the decoration on her own instead of having to buy it at a store, which would save her money and also allow her to customize her decorations. She was excited to start these projects. She began by printing a bunch of pictures of her family and friends. She wanted to remember the important people and the memories they made. She decided to make a collage with the photos. She laid the photos out in the shape of a bee to represent her name. She also decided to make paper lantern string lights. The lights were going to hang across her bed. She already felt excited to see how the decorations would look in her room.